Hey there, welcome back to the At Home Dive YouTube channel. As always, my name is Joey and today we're in the kitchen making something fantastic. It's always great to have one of those cool dips around for summertime. But today, the dip we're making is so timeless that it can be used year-round, absolutely any day. Today, we're going to be making classic chickpea hummus, but with a small twist. Instead of tahini, I'm going to be using peanut butter because honestly, I don't really keep tahini at home and I like the richness and creamy smoothness that we get from the peanut butter. So this is how I like to make it. Feel free to use tahini if you'd like. Let's dive right in. So if you've ever made hummus or if you've ever eaten hummus, you know that it's probably got a really simple list of ingredients. And we're gonna dive into what these are exactly and why it's so important. Today, we need to make sure that we have really nice chickpeas. To be honest with you, you can get away with buying canned chickpeas and that will work for this recipe as long as you drain them and wash them very well. But as you can see here, I'll show you a quick clip of how we made these. So to get my chickpeas soaked, we're gonna go with the fast soak method. So I've got 1 pound of chickpeas that I'm gonna put in my slow cooker and turn this on to low heat for 8 hours. And I'm just gonna cover these in water. Feel free to give these just a little bit of extra water. I'm gonna put about 2 liters in here just to make sure they have plenty to soak up. And I went ahead and added 1 bay leaf and 1 clove of garlic. Lids on, we'll check on these tomorrow morning.
The following day.
So we're back and it has been overnight. We're gonna take a look at our chickpeas here, and as you can see, it looked like a lot of water that we initially put in there, but now these are out and we're gonna see if these are nice and soft. Just as expected, these are nice and soft. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain these, but I'm gonna keep the liquid and the chickpeas, but both separate. So now that we've got these drained, we've reserved the cooking liquid, although we're not gonna need nearly all of this. It's nice to hold on to that. And I've got these chickpeas that are nice and soft, as you can see here. They're creamy all the way through. I've got 2 cloves of garlic. You can either mince this or microplane it in. Microplane it's faster and easier, but if you don't have a microplane, feel free to just mince it really well. I've got kosher salt. Use whatever salt you'd like, but I'm gonna be using a couple of teaspoons of this today. And I have peanut butter. As I mentioned a minute ago, you can use tahini if you would like, or if you happen to have tahini at home, but that's not one of those things that I readily keep, so I'm gonna be using peanut butter. If you use peanut butter, use this amount. If you use tahini, double that amount, and I'll put that in the recipe in the description below. And the last thing, before we jump over to the lemon, is gonna be the olive oil. Use a really good olive oil, the best olive oil you have. And then we're gonna be using the juice from 1 lemon. We're looking for about 4 tablespoons of juice out of here. And then the strainer to get it smooth. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're gonna do to get going is we're gonna turn our beautiful lemon here into lemon juice. It's important that we leave these at room temperature like they are whenever you buy them from the store so that they're easier to roll on the countertop. This is gonna break all those little citrus cells loose on the inside and make it nice and soft as opposed to a hard lemon that's very difficult to squeeze. Then, of course, we're just gonna cut it in half and squeeze all the liquid out of it. So now, as you can see, we got about 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. We're gonna go ahead and set this aside, clean up a bit, and then we'll grab the food processor. So now it's time to put this recipe together. And this is incredibly simple because of its holistic and very clean nature. We're gonna go ahead and just put the chickpeas right in the food processor. Now we can add in the peanut butter, the garlic. I'm gonna add 1 healthy pinch of salt, probably about 1.5 teaspoons, maybe 2 teaspoons. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add in the lemon juice as well. The last thing I'm gonna add for now is gonna be about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Now I'm gonna put the lid on here and begin pulsing this until smooth. It's not gonna make it yet, and that's where this liquid will come in handy because it'll help it get going. But for now, we're just gonna get everything incorporated. Let's take a look at what this looks like now. As you see here, it's kind of chunky and nothing is really coming together well. I'm gonna slowly start adding in this liquid and you'll be able to see through the sides of the container how it's starting to come together and become nice and smooth. now as you can see here, it's still not perfectly smooth. It's very thick and kind of starchy, but now's a great time for us to get an idea what this is gonna start to look like. Obviously we do need more liquid, but I'm gonna go and rake down the sides and taste this to see exactly what I'm thinking for my salt content, and then we'll move on to the next step of continuing to go. As I mentioned before, I only added about 3 of the 4 tablespoons of olive oil. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add in that last tablespoon of olive oil, and then just a pinch of salt. You can add more salt if you'd like. You can also hold off if you'd like. Now we're gonna add the rest of our liquid. So as you can see here, now our chickpea hummus is pretty smooth. It's not perfectly smooth, but it's also nice and thick. It's got a little bit of a drip to it, and that's awesome because keep in mind, you are making a dip, not a soup. Let's go ahead and try this. Friends, this is absolutely delicious. It's got the creamy richness of the peanut butter, the smooth, slightly starchiness of the chickpeas, hint of the sharpness of garlic. This is absolutely fantastic. Let's go ahead and put this in the refrigerator and let it cool down all the way, and then it'll thicken up some more.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, we are back, and as you can see here, this is now nice and thick. So what I'm gonna do is, one of my favorite ways to plate this up is I went ahead and chopped some vegetables, and I'm just gonna put some of this right down on the plate and go ahead and just work it around and to the outside of the plate. I like to just do this and create a little bit of a pocket right here in the middle. And the main reason I like to do that is because, again, I like to grab a little bit of olive oil and just go right over the top. And this just gives it that slight olivey, Mediterranean, fresh, vibrant flavor. And then I also like to grab just a little bit of parsley and chop that up very coarsely and throw that around as well, just to give it a little bit of extra color. From there, I like to go and add in a few vegetables. So I have some zucchini here that I've cut into strips. Can add in some carrot strips, bell pepper, and of course, you can't go wrong with toasted pita bread. And so here we have it. Here's our little plate of hummus. Let's go ahead and taste this and see exactly what we think. As you can see, we've got that rich, smooth, creamy hummus. And just as expected, this is absolutely fantastic. I love the creamy, cool nature of the hummus, and I like the slight richness that the peanut butter provides over the tahini, which is why I use it. This is great for any gathering or any late night snack. All right, well, that wraps us up on how to make hummus with a slight twist. Comment below and let me know how yours turns out or what you like to eat your hummus with. Also remember, it's not just good as a dip. It's great on sandwiches and wraps. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.